Hey, this is Jamie from Capsule Computers, and today we are reviewing Far Cry Primal for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows. The game is available now for $59.99 US or $99.95 Australian at all major retailers. Far Cry Primal is developed by Ubisoft Montreal and published by Ubisoft. Far Cry Primal is set in the Mesolithic period just after the Ice Age 12,000 years ago. In a fictitious Central European valley called Oros, there are three tribes locked in a bloody conflict. The Udam cannibals and the fire-worshipping Azila tribes have come out on top, decimating the Wenja and scattering their survivors. Takar arrives in Oros as the last member of a group of Wenja trying to reconnect with their tribe. The real joy of Far Cry Primal is the fantastic setting. Ubisoft has been quite open about working with the professors at the University of McGill in Montreal and the University of Kentucky to craft their Mesolithic setting. Their efforts really shine through in the game, as all the speech are in three specially made dialects of Proto-Indo-European. There are even smaller, almost invisible touches like the villages using the period-correct egalitarian social structure, which really create an immersive world that is a pleasure to experience. On the flip side, I found the game's plotline to be rather weak in comparison to the setting. The actual story missions are only a small handful, with the rest feeling more like filler to pad out the game's playtime. The game is built on top of Far Cry 4, so many of the mechanics will be familiar to those who played the previous title. However, some of the gameplay mechanics have been tweaked for Far Cry Primal. Since the first weapon resembling a firearm doesn't actually show up for another 1100 years, Primal introduces melee weapons into the game. The melee controls are pretty simple. In addition to the old takedown techniques, players can tap the attack button for a quick swing or hold it down to execute a heavy swing. Plus, the ever-popular bow has morphed into three variants designed for different situations. Grenades and throwing weapons are back, although in a bit of a low-tech fashion. Takar can also use his Beastmaster abilities to summon animals he has tamed to aid him in combat. These are especially useful for melee builds, as the animals help soak up some of the damage in an all-out brawl. All in all, the weapons handle quite well and make for some really enjoyable combat. I like how the new skill and weapon crafting system is handled by Far Cry Primal. Parts of Takar's skill tree and his equipment recipes require a specific villager be brought back to the village and their hut constructed. While skill trees are almost always unlocked by bringing a villager home, more complex equipment requires a better hut be constructed. While tying upgrades to progression is nothing new in video games, I thought it was a pretty immersive way of doing things. The audiovisual experience of Far Cry Primal is excellent. Oros looks full of life, with animals doing what animals do even if Takar sits and watches quietly from a distance. The animations are solid for the exception of feeding your pet. Sometimes things clip in the wrong places or the meat just completely misses the mouth. The sound effects and soundtrack are great. The voice actors did a fantastic job, especially since the whole game was written in a language no one really speaks, meaning their entire performance is channeled in how they speak instead of what they speak. On the technical side, the engine is aging quite well. I didn't run into any technical hitches during the actual gameplay on the PC, though the game's FPS really tanks during cutscenes. Far Cry Primal is a good game, but it's really hamstringed by its length, which makes it kinda hard to justify its full retail release price. When it comes down to it, visit Oros for the story, but do stay for the atmosphere. So I'm awarding Far Cry Primal 7.5 capsules out of 10. If you want to read our full review, be sure to check out the link in the description or in the video's card. I hope to see you soon. This is Jamie from Capsule Computers signing off.